we're live. I apologize. I normally do this on Saturday night. As you can hear, I sound like shit, and I still kind of feel like shit. I had a flu this week that I would not wish on my worst goddamn enemy in the world. Started last Wednesday, right after I did my very last live with y'all. And on the tail end of it, I still feel like ass. Everything I do, I'm still pouring sweat out of me, dude. I just don't feel right yet. And I can't smell. And that's kind of an issue. All right, cats and kittens. Let's give y'all a few minutes to get situated and come up in here. Oh, I gotta get some air flowing through here. Pouring sweat out of me, and I just ain't feeling it today, guys. Appreciate y'all standing by me. All right, that's enough of this. So we're just gonna jump right in, tell you about what we got going on. Hopefully you'll watch this later. I don't know. A jug of tea here, something to drink. Who-de-do. Okay, where are we at? Let me stole out of the pocket. Put it on the Bible, that's where it goes. Yeah, it's an interesting tool here. This is for adjusting pilot screws, okay? The bottom here, you turn this, and look, you got a screwdriver head here when you turn the bottom. So you can hold this up under the carburetor and adjust your pilot screws without burning the hell out of your fingers. And this is a super long screwdriver. Everybody this is with carburetors on motorcycles is going to want to have one of these. Coincidentally, you absolutely need one of these to remove the carburetors or adjust the carburetors on a Honda Goldwing. I did do some of this off camera. And then I got sick with the flu. We're going to give you an idea of what we're going to have going on here. Start off with the whiteboard and give you an explanation. Okay, synchronizing the carbs is basically getting them to pull the same amount of vacuum at the same time. We went through that in other videos. Okay, you got, forgive me, I'm not a freaking artist, okay? You got 2 cylinders and 2 carbs on each cylinder, right? Well, each cylinder might be worn a little more, so it might draw a little more air. Well, that carburetor's got a valve, which we've showed you, okay? That valve opens and shuts like a butterfly. Well, let's say this cylinder here, it draws maybe 5 pounds less vacuum, 5 pounds less compression, just a little tiny bit, right? Well, if it's drawing a little less with both of those valves set at the same, if you open this valve a little more, that compensates for it. And that allows the diaphragms and slides on the top of the carburetor with the needle. Okay, there's 2 of them. If this one's getting 5 pounds less, it's going to draw up slower than this one. So that's the idea of making the vacuum pressure identical so that they rise and fall at the same time. That way your cylinders aren't fighting one another. We established that. All right, I got that done off camera. What else we noticed when we tore this bike apart? We tore the carbs apart. The other thing that we had noticed, one of the pilot screws was jammed shut all the way. Well, pilot screw is basically opening of the carburetor. And then there's a little boss at the bottom here with a screw. We're just going to put a plus for the screw. You'll know what I mean. There's a hole straight up through. And in that hole is a little kind of plug shape like that with a taper. Okay. And it's threaded. And the more you screw that up in, the tighter that taper plugs up that hole. The more you screw it down, the more that hole's open. Now that's connected directly to the float bowl where the gas is. So at idle, vacuum draws through and allows that fuel to suck up through and suck your fuel air mixture up into the cylinder. Well, if it's getting too much, dig it, you screw that up tighter, you close that hole off. If it's not getting enough, you pull that out, you open that hole up. It's a little bit different of a system on a CV carburetor on a Japanese bike like this, okay? I have videos on how to do this on a S&S carburetor. Hey, what's up, Alex? Nah, I'm not a pro, man. I've just been doing this for a long time. I was very poor, and I had to make my old beat-up bikes run. So I'm trying to teach some of y'all how to do it. Let me get a little light on the situation over on this side of the garage. We'll show you on a Harley Davidson the difference and what's going on. And all right, see that little plus right there? It's real simple. There's one screw, one carburetor. Okay, when you put your choke on, your engine kind of blah 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 blah. That's how you know from smell. You can smell an engine running rich, and you can hear it. Well, in this guy, there's two carburetors. They got to be adjusted independently. They're hidden up underneath. I really, honestly, guys, sorry, I'm just not into this today. I still feel like shit from the flu, so you really got to bear with me here. It's not going to be like anything professional today. I'm going to try to do this and work on this bike a little bit for you guys. But honestly, I'm just not feeling myself at all. And I'm going to shut the garage door because I'm going to fire this up in a second. And I'm, fuck them. Neighbors bitch, they bitch. They can deal with it. Let's get you set up where you can see what the hell I'm doing. We get vacuum gauges. This one's going to this cylinder. This one's going to this cylinder. Okay. We've got an auxiliary fuel tank just to make life easier. We'll put some fuel in the fuel tank here. Now, as far as balance left, right, the synchronizing of the carburetors, like I said, I had them pretty much set up. This bike is doing something weird though. When the engine gets hot, I'm literally losing back right-hand cylinder, and I'm not exactly sure why it's doing it. I have a few theories. I ran it across an old graybeard buddy of mine, bike mechanic from way back. Now, he doesn't mess with these things. He messes with British motorcycles. John, I know who I'm talking about. John, kind of in agreement. It's probably like a compression drop issue, but as soon as you get on the throttle, it goes away. And it'll idle fine for a little bit and will drop vacuum again. It's perplexing. One thing I possibly was running through my head is somebody may have tried to adjust the valves, and they have the exhaust valve a little too tight, and it's quite possible at idle it's just hanging open a little. But see, it would kind of want to run like shit all the time, so it doesn't quite compute. I don't think it's an electrical issue. Do you have any advice on bike electronics? Yeah, Bike electronics, my advice to you, solder all your connections, please. Don't do things half-assed. Take your time, make it as neat as you possibly can, and solder your electronics. All your connections, good quality solder. And don't be lazy and do it half-assed and just twist and tape. That's how fire starts. It's how you burn up stators. Nothing good comes from that. You'll thank me later. All right, she's sat for a week. All right, no. Probably not going to respond to the chat too much here because I'm going to be paying attention to what's going on. I'm going to try to teach you a thing or two as we go, but it is what it is. Now your gauge is hooked up. Okay, these are baffles in the gauge. You're going to see tick, tick, tick and go crazy. And I'll loosen and tighten these accordingly to kind of stop that. I am going to shut the garage door. That idiot across the street gets all whiny. You got to rev the bike up a little bit to do this. This bike's not loud, but like he got, when I was tuning in my Harley, he got off Ridger and I had to put him in his place. So, just to be respectful, I'll shut the garage door and I won't have to knock the hell out of nobody today or have the cops called on me. We don't want that, right? Okay. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Turn the key. Hopefully the battery's still good. I'm going to use choke. We're going to crank her wide open. Okay. We're definitely pulling more vacuum on one side, and that's odd. That's no good. As we're warming up, you see here. Before we go any further into adjustment, this is where your long screwdriver comes in. Oh, where's that guy? All the way down in there. We're only off a little bit. Nope. I'm on the third. Yep, I ain't gonna make it either. See, as I'm adjusting this, watch these gauges, they're even. Carbs are both pulling the same amount of vacuum. Now I'm going to take this tool and try to get up underneath it. If she cooperates. I'm really not feeling this today, guys. I feel like crap today. Still sick. Can't really smell too good yet from the flue, but I can smell the exhaust. It is definitely rich, needing too much fuel. What I'm going to do is this, reach up underneath. Close each one off, about 1/8 of a turn. I get butter. feeling this tonight, guys. Trying to do this my feel. Alright. A little happier. Alright. That's the carburetor synchronization. Alright, let's give her some revs. It's idling good. She's sounding good. I don't really think I want to go too much further than that. I'm actually somewhat happy with that. As the engine warms up, one cylinder does lose vacuum. I've yet to figure out exactly why it's doing it. It's not normal, it's weird. I'm going to leave it just a twinge rich. I can smell that it's rich. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to foul plugs. It's not that rich. It's just me doing this for the amount of years I've been doing it. I can smell the exhaust is slightly rich. You can see slightly more vacuum on this outside cylinder. That's weird. That's weirdness. It's still just a touch out of sync. Not much. But she's pretty happy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are damn close to being where I'd like to be. Okay, James. She's tuned in a little better. Actually, I'm kind of happy with that. I think we're going to rock with that. Right on. I am happy with how that turned out. Now, let's shut the fuel off here. Gonna bolt some plastic back onto this bike, and I really don't know if I feel like doing it. Like I said, I just really like today. Just really do. Okay. Get the door open, let some air in here, man. Look at this. Can you see this? I'm already, like, I can feel my back. I'm coated with sweat already, man. I just feel like crap still from the flu. It's not a good deal. All right, I gotta get air in here, man. I'm dying. All right, let's get the vacuum gauges pulled off this bike. Get the auxiliary fuel disconnected. Maybe we'll fart around with putting some bodywork back on her. Maybe, huh? You think that'd be a good idea? I don't know. I kind of want to be done with this bike. I really do. I've been farting with it too long. So I've said before, this is a hobby. This is not my main job. I am a truck driver / a can operator at a steel mill. I do this for fun in my free time. This constitutes as free time for me. Get that in here. Get this fuel line off. Let her go, you turd. Come on. It's on her tight. All right. Just drained out into this can. Vacuum gauges go. You know what? I do not want to mess with these vacuum gauges. They are hot. Dang it, they are hot. All right. But we kind of have to, because if we don't do it now, we're going to forget where they go. So let's pull them off the unit here. Put the unit back in its case. Yeah, there's a bunch of different kits you can get with these gauges. And as you can see, this isn't the greatest one. And if you look, the calibration's off on them too, just a little tiny bit. But it's good enough for government work. We're not building race engines here. We're just taking a non-rideable bike and making it rideable. And like I said, this is the coolest tool ever. Just up underneath that carburetor. You know, you don't have to reach under there with a tiny screwdriver and burn your fingers. You just stick this into the screw and then turn down here. Okay. And every bike mechanic should have one of these super duper long screwdrivers. They just make your life easier. Trust me. Go get you one. They're not expensive. All right. Just gonna straighten out a little bit here. The gauges back where they go. And these kits come with clamps, everything you need to pretty much set up and do any set of carburetors. Unless you're messing with a Honda CBX or a Honda GL series Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is a 6-cylinder, 6-carburetor engine. And just don't fucking call me if you have one and you need it set up. Can I do it? Yeah, sure. I'd do one for me. If I had a Honda Valkyrie, I wouldn't mind having one. I'm not fixing yours. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Can I? Sure. Am I going to charge you? Yeah. It's a bitch. Total pain in the ass, and I'm not going to do it cheap for you. Sorry, guys. That's a bike shop deal there, unless you fixing that one for hoagies and iced tea. That's what I'm trying to tell you there. Normally, I try to help people out and get their bikes going for them at a half-decent price, but certain things like carburetors on a Honda Valkyrie, setting up desmodromic heads on a Ducati, things like that. Don't bring me your bike, goddammit. And if you do, don't expect it to be cheap or be done quickly, for that matter. Okay, let me pour the rest of this gas in the jug here. As I spilled all over the floor. I can't smell anything anyway, so it's a good thing. It'll keep the insects away. There it goes for the gas, where it goes. All right. Now, can you see what I'm doing? You can. Okay. We have got to put some vacuum lines back where they go. Okay. This one here goes up in here for your what do you call it? EVAP system, I guess you want to call this. Bike emissions, basically. Which went to that T. That T went to here, and it's a hose hanging out here in the middle of nowhere. Pull you off. Give me that hose, okay? This hose goes back onto here. Very difficult to see what I am doing. The breeze feels nice. We're a little limited on time here. As I said, Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports is going back to school. She's taking night courses to get out of her job and get into a better paying job. I always stand behind that. Anytime somebody wants to improve their life, I'd do anything for you. Told her she doesn't have to work. I make sufficient money. If she wanted to just be like a stay-at-home wife, she doesn't want to do that. She wants to work in the medical field, so. Okay, got that guy off. This guy goes to the vacuum side of the petcock. I know that. Now this bolted back in, we do. We can put you back in place. Yep. And you went right in here with these 4 bolts. We're just going to do a little more on this today and then call her done because, sorry guys, I just feel like poop still. I mean, I'm getting better, but damn, I'm telling you, I feel like I've been straight up beat up by like a big gorilla or something. It's not good. It's just not. You come out of there. Okay. You go there. The airbox hold down in. Like I said, it's kind of like IKEA furniture. You just get them started. Don't moan out at once. You might have to tweak shit. This had no reason to really come apart. I mean, it did, sort of. When I pulled the carburetors off this bike, I wanted to take the airbox completely out to make my life just that much easier. Well, lo and behold, that's just not going to happen. You would have had to take apart even more of the goddamn motorcycle to get that to happen. So that's just not how we did that, is it? We did that one differently, didn't we? You all the way up into there where you're supposed to be. I have to get a pry bar on you to make you sit. You need to sit and Get about way back here. Oh man, I'm telling you, I feel like poop today, guys. Just not feeling it one bit today. Yeah, I usually like to do these on Saturday. And to be honest with you, that's where my biggest fan base shows up to watch my lives. And honestly, man, Saturday, I think I was awake like 3 hours on Saturday. That's how crappy I felt. It was a bad deal. For the X channel, it's the kind of stream you need. Well, right on, my man. Fucking like and subscribe. Once you treat that subscribe button like it owes you money and smash that mother for me, will you? The live thing's kind of like new to me, dude. I don't really like going live. I never really did, but you guys seem to watch it. You seem to like it, so I've been doing it lately. Whatever, folks. Damn it! Now I'm dripping sweat on my fucking glasses. Folks are watching it. Folks are digging it, so I'm doing it. Right, is what it is. It's just the name of that tune lately. I don't know. That's what's up, I guess. I am about to call this quits for today, guys. I'm telling you, pouring out sweat and feeling like shit. Yeah, I'm literally dripping sweat. You see this? What happens when you have the flu? Okay, give me a second to think and breathe. Tempting to make you fit in here a little better. But see, you're not doing what I want you to do for some reason. Look at that sweat pouring out of me. You know what? I'm not even fucking with you. I'm done. I like ass. Straightened up there. I guess we can put the coolant jug back on. You turd. I got a set of Allen keys for it. And something to sit on. Well, sorry, not much more exciting as far as carburetor tuning went because, well, to be honest with you, it's a little difficult to narrate the fucking shit while I'm actually working on the bikes. Especially when it comes to whatever. So I sort of did do the hard work off live. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. And I got them close and then just tweaked them in live for you guys here today. Honestly, I don't really feel like doing much else today. Sorry, folks. I feel like shit still. Didn't miss no day's work, though. One thing with me, man. Comes to my job, I don't take sick days. Sick days are best used for riding motorcycles. I work when I'm sick. I don't give a fuck. As long as I ain't got diarrhea. It's a given. It's a given. I shit my pants, I'm going home. I don't care how much you pay me. If I poop myself on a job because I got diarrhea, I'm going the fuck home. That's how that works. And this flu was mainly like just feeling like shit, you know, fever and all that. Couldn't breathe and all that stuff. Okay, I got the carburetor set up. I'll get this put away. Where it goes, over on across the shop. I'm done turning wrenches, guys. I tried. Feel bad, man. I feel like I'm letting y'all down, but dude, I just don't. I don't know if you can see it on me or what. I just don't feel good still. It's been Wednesday will make a week that I started, like last live I did, I started feeling crappy and made it through the live and went upstairs, cleaned up, laid down for a little bit, and just wasn't right. Ain't been right since. Anyway, we got to bolt the body work back on the bike, and we're just not doing that today because I don't feel up to it. That's what's left. Bolt body work back down, button up a few little things, and his tires are extremely low in air. We did a wheel up the chain. But yeah, I have seen enough of this little son of a bitch. And I just had enough of this little bike. Me and this bike hot. And we're done fighting. We are done fighting. So I guess let's yeah, little Cowie. It's an EX50. Little baby ninja. Not mine. Obviously, because I rock with Harley Davidson these days. But I'm not bike prejudiced, dude. I work on any bike. Wrench them. Holy hell, dude. I'm soaked with sweat. Like, seriously, I have been down here for 48 minutes. Look at that. Bad deal. Still sick, hate to say it. Fucking man, damn, it's soaked. But yeah. Little bike runs. She's tuned in halfway decent now. She'll be rideable. My mission's accomplished. I didn't say I was going to get the bike perfect. I said, I'll make it so you can ride it. You can ride it now. Guess I can do a quick Q&A for you guys if you want. Questions, tech tips. I'm open to any of that. Or you just watching a fat guy sweat in his garage. That's cool too. But yeah, I think we're done for today. Mission accomplished. Do some grocery shopping and Yeah, yeah. Actually, I've rode one of these before. It was a cool little bike. I mean, I'm a big dude, obviously. I'm like 280 pounds. So it's the dude who owns this bike. He's much taller than me. He's got the suspension on the loosest setting. We got to tweak that in a little bit, too. I got a spanner wrench here somewhere. I'm going to crank it up a little tighter for him. He's kind of like a novice rider. He doesn't ride that much. He just runs it back and forth to work. And obviously, a grizzled old gray beard biker. You know, I rode them all, worked on them all, crashed them. I'm not supposed to be alive. I'm not supposed to be walking. They said I'd never ride a bike again, let alone walk. You know, this is all I've really ever wanted to do in life, was mess with motorcycles and ride them. And you know, I ended up doing what I'm doing for a living instead of actually being a straight up motorcycle mechanic. Did have the MMI scholarship back in 1999. I was not able to go down to Florida where I would have had to go. 6'8" and 280. Right on, man. Hey, look, the dude's not 6'8", but I venture he's a bit taller than me. I venture to say he's probably 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, that's, I don't know. Me, nah, even the 500, like the Suzuki GS 500s, I've ridden them. I've never had the pleasure of riding a Kawasaki EX 500. I rode a CBR 600, old one, years ago. It was an F4i. Exhilarating little bugger, but just not quite my style. I've never ridden a modern leader super bike. I had its great grandpappy. I had a 1980 GS 1100E. If y'all remember, that was either 80 or 81. And actually, that scar right there came from that bike. And that was the first time I broke this wrist, was on that bike. That thing was a rocket ship, and she was mean. I bought it off a dude named JD. I don't even know where he's at nowadays. And he sold it because he laid it down. So I bought it, and bars were all tweaked up. I ordered a set off of JC Whitney. That tells you how long ago it was. Put a new set of bars on it, a new clutch lever, and tore off down the road. My first big street bike was a Honda CB750. Single cam, was 1971. I bought it off an old head motorcycle mechanic named Al. And when I locked up the motor, my dumbass had to have 4 drag pipes on it. And I left it sit outside over the winter. Didn't stuff oily rags up the drag pipes. Locked up the motor with rust. When I tore down the motor, I know why that bike screamed. Dude, he had so much work done in them heads. They were hogged out. Like, the heads were flown. Don't know if they were the stock carburetors. I was a 20-year-old kid, half drunk, when I tore that motor apart. Really wish I still had what was left of that motor sitting in the corner, but I don't. Someday I may fool with another one. They're getting harder and harder to find and more expensive. As cool as the old single cam CB750s are. As you see, if you've watched my channel, I do dig the Japanese bikes. I mean, I'm obviously riding a couple of Harleys right now, but I do dig Japanese bikes a bit. I have a love-hate relationship with the Honda Goldwing. Coincidentally, I literally, that bike that I kind of nursed back to health and sold about 2 years ago, I just seen it on Marketplace for sale today. Apparently, the kid laid it down and then sold it to someone else. Same deal. It was up and running. It had a whole bunch of wiring boogers that I had to go through and rewire, like, everything. I had the fairing off of that bike. It was a nightmare. I had to rewire everything on the bike. And somebody had taken the carbs off and rebuilt them. So I'd take the carbs back off of it, rebuild them, and then synchronize them back in. And she ran like a dream. I rode it for a summer. And it was the notorious GL 1200 Flat 4, which, if you're familiar with them, then you automatically know if you're familiar with them. They have stair issues, and I have done one in my life, and I honestly didn't even finish the bike. I put a stator in it, put a new clutch in it, got it back together about 3/4 of the way, and got tired of working on it, and literally gave it away in a YouTube contest just because I didn't want to work on another GL 1200. I'm done. I hate them. I love them. They're fun. That's one of Honda's coolest bikes. I absolutely hate working on them. GL 1500s, it's a great machine as well, until you have carburetor issues, especially on the early ones. Maybe on the later fuel injected ones, the last couple of years that model was around, different story. I don't know. I never owned one. But I can tell you the carbureted ones, the issues I had with that bike, simply because Honda decided they wanted this crazy system with different sensors that sensed elevation. In other words, if you're high up in altitude, it registered that the air was thinner. That sensor plugged off a vacuum line that opened another air jet into the carb and shut off. Oh my God. And there's a million vacuum lines and one little vacuum leak, and it would just be all kind of, you know what happens when you got a CV carb and a vacuum leak? Turn the throttle and there's no throttle response. It just does whatever it wants, and that's no good. Give me a V-twin and an SNS Super E any day of the week, or, you know, my fuel injected Ultra Classic. I never thought I'd ride another fuel injected bike. I had one fuel injected bike in 2017. I bought a brand new Honda Fury 1300, and that's the one I almost died on. Got ran off the road. Just getting over the flu, but yet I'll smoke a cigar. But yeah, that's the bike I almost died on. And fuel injected as well. It's a runner. I mean, power wise, I don't know. I had a VTX 1300, and I liked the way the VTX 1300 ran a little better. It was a little more of a torquier engine in general. And Fury handled really good until it didn't. In other words, you could stick it in any corner. I mean, absolutely stick that in any corner. The problem is the foot pegs hung up so early that anytime you tried to lean her, it was a bad deal. I should be finishing this bike, and I'm sitting here flapping my jaws on the live. Look, man, I'm sick. Give me a break. Got the carbs tweaked in. We're good. We did that much tonight. Hold on here. I can't quite read you. I got to get you closer. I've never rode a big bike. It's dangerous on any bike. Oh, yeah, man. Hell yeah. You got to respect them, dude. Beginning of May of this year, I had an idiot floored it right out of a red light. She had a solid red. I had a green arrow. And I looked to my left, the direction I'm turning. I looked to in front of me. No one's moving. She's got the solid red. I got the green. I looked to my left. I start to pull out in the middle of the intersection. This broad just dropped it to the floor, man. And I was riding a Yamaha Royal Star Venture. Pow! Hit the side of me, threw me off the bike. I didn't break no bones. I had a full face helmet and a leather jacket on because it was sprinkling and everything else, but it totaled the bike. I was actually filming a moto vlog when it happened, so I had the whole thing on the footage, and let's just say I got a nice check out of that one. Nice check. It was cool. I can't be angry. The girl had insurance. It was a beat up car, and thank God she actually had the same insurance company I did. Thank God she had good insurance, and because I had film and I know how to do things, and yeah, it's we're riding 2 Harleys now. But now I had money saved up, and I bought that Ultra because I thought, you know, and I had been wanting one. And that accident happened before I even got the insurance check. I went out and like, you know what, I'm just going to dip into my stash, and I'm going to buy this garage, this house here. I'd been saving for this for about 3 years. We're actually just moved in here in the beginning of August. So what do we got here? My old CBR6 was super reliable. I had a rack of CR flat side carbs. Ooh, now we're talking. Shoot, if you go back through one of my other lives, we went through and we discussed that. I pulled a carburetor out of my toolbox, well, half of one from a CR80, and kind of described the flat slide carb versus the CV carb and how the two work. And honestly, I hate CV carbs. I do. I hate them. I don't like them on Harleys. I had one on my Sportster. I had one. But goddamn Yamaha Roadstar had one. The Royal Star had one. A Goldwings. I don't like them, man. Give me a flat slide or give me a pumper style S&S carb, or even a McCooney. You know, I limited with the Harley Davidson style McCooney carbs. Limited amount of fooling with, but a carb's a carb. You got an idle mixture. They're a pumper too, so you got to squirt, you know, the amount of accelerator pump squirt, and you got a throttle. It's pretty simple on a V-twin. Waiting for the storm to roll in. Got some time to kill here. 7 o'clock. I got to leave out of here in 2 hours. That's for like adding a fifth cylinder. Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, there's no delay, and especially if they're tuned right, there's no delay. You don't have to wait for that diaphragm. Like back in the day, man, me and my boy Jocko, I don't remember what the hell carbs were on my CV, but they weren't causing velocity. Honestly, you got to remember this is damn near 30 years ago. Jocko had CV carbs on his. He had a 78 or 79 dual overhead cam CV 750. And man, he never could get that bike tuned in right. Tried to put pods on it, and as you know, CV carbs do not like pod air cleaners. They just don't. They're a bitch to get tuned in right. We tried everything, going in there, get different springs out of different carburetors for the diaphragms, clipping them short. Tried adding stiffer springs. He ended up having to take electrical tape and closing off a portion of each pod, like individual, just to get it to run good. It was more than it was worth. He still coincidentally has that bike in a garage. One of these days, I'm going to get him over here for a live. Another old head like me. We're born in the 80s, children of the 90s, and in the 90s, we rode bikes from the 70s. And yeah, he's a motorcycle mechanic and ATV mechanic for Mercedes Motorsports here in Pittsburgh. And I'm a truck driver at United States Steel Urban Works. And I currently ripped my mic off my shirt. So, actual family member, my uncle, he's not that into motorcycles. If you're watching, Uncle Mark, hey, what's up, man? Thanks again. He's like, dude, I can't hear you. And mysteriously, out of the blue, I get this package from Amazon, and it's a set of these microphones. And here, it was my uncle that ordered them for me. I'm like, whoa, I know my audio sucks, but who in my feed knows that dress? My uncle. Right? I mean, even with the jet kit, CV carbs, I've just found CV carbs do not like that open pod. They just seem to perform better. Now, when you whack them wide open, if you're going to beat the hell out of it and like drag race it, or wide open to nothing, cool. But just around town and the steady idle, it is obviously how they work. They need that vacuum to pull the diaphragm open, and an airbox just seals it off and makes the whole system work better. But soon enough, we're going to get into tuning a fuel-injected Harley. That's new to me. I'm not like a motorcycle guru. I don't know everything. One of the smartest guys I know, my Votech teacher when I was a kid, instilled in us. He always said, a truly smart man doesn't know all the answers, but he knows where to find them. And I've done some internet digging, and I'm pretty sure I can tackle this job. I'm gonna put a little bit louder exhaust on my Ultra. I actually want fishtail exhaust. I love them. I don't care. They care about performance, none of that. They look cool. They sound badass. So I want a set of 36-inch big long fishtails out of the back of my bike. And we've got the Delphi fuel injection on it. It's a open loop system. And I'm going back and forth. Do I actually want to spend the money on getting a closed loop system and putting it in? I got to see what all's involved. It's not going to be as simple because now you got to install an O2 sensor. I'm not a very good welder, so there's that. But I can get a Screaming Eagle plug-in tuner and tune it with my computer and all that. But I'm not sure. I mean, it's tuned for the slip-ons that are on it and a stock air cleaner. That bike's not there for performance. It's there to be a comfy grandpa bike to ride back and forth to work, and me and Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports ride it around. If I want to be a hot rod, I got the old Super Glide with the Evo, you know, said before, my lives, high compression pistons, EV27 cam, S&S drag pipes. She's a runner, and she's belligerent. And is it the fastest? No, man. Come on. No, not by today's standards, but it's enough to have some freaking fun, man. And that's all that really matters. I'm not out there trying to race people, but hey, what's
your windows are done.
Oh, all right, I get it.
Do this right here, so
I get you. Thank you. My neighbor informing me that it's going to rain and my car windows are down. All right, let's cut to live anyway. I'm done working on the bike. I'm just chit-chatting to y'all. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching, man. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good evening.